What's going on, everybody? Johnny Bannon here at Trepa Technologies. In today's video, we're going to be going over Domain 4.3 and finishing up Domain 4 in our Network Plus full and free course. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends, hit that bell if you're enjoying this content, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm going to zoom my face out of the screen here. Not important for the lesson, right? I say that every video. Let's go over our objectives. So, actually, let's read this first, what Domain 4.3 is. So this is applying network security features, defense techniques, and solutions. So this is going to be going over what can we do? What can we do from the network perspective? This is something that kind of this is directly our job now, right? If we're getting the Network Plus to become a network admin or engineer, what do? Where's our role in our defense in-depth approach to securing and protecting our enterprise? So the first thing we can do is device hardening. So on our switches, firewalls, routers, access points, making sure that we're closing unnecessary ports. Whether that be a physical switch port or unnecessary ports like port 23 like Telnet. To disable unused ports and services. Turning off any network ports and services that are not in use to minimize entry points. Just cleaning up our attack surface, right? Reduces the attack surface, prevents unauthorized access. We can also change default passwords. So if we're in an MSP that services small businesses and they get, instead of business grade ISP connections, they get that modem, right? We need to switch that out. And then if we decide to keep it, we need to change the defaults on it, right? We don't want any factory set passwords, whether that be on our network infrastructure or in our Windows machines, in our Linux machine, anywhere, right? Now, let's get into something that directly relates to our job, our network access control. Two major ways to do network access control, port security and 802.1x. Down below it says MAC filtering, but that, in a Cisco environment, that is port security does MAC filtering for you. So kind of, right, this is CompTIA Network Plus. They want me to describe the difference between the two, but just know in the actual configuration, like if you're on Cisco iOS, that's how we kind of do it. But port security. This is a feature that restricts access to network ports based on MAC addresses. So administrators can specify which devices by the MAC address that can connect to a single switch port. So this is me getting into a switch port and saying switch port, port security, MAC address, putting in that 48-bit, 12 hexadecimal digit address, and that'll be the only one allowed. Or this could say switch port, port security, MAC address, maximum 2. And we say only 2 MAC addresses can ever be registered to this switch port at a time. So maybe that's a VoIP phone, and then we daisy chain our computer behind that VoIP phone, so we have a voice access data VLAN, right? That's one major way. Simple, easy, not highly scalable. You can fake the funk a little bit there. You can spoof MAC addresses, things like that. 802.1x. This is network access control. It's going to combine our AAA protocols like Radius, maybe TACX, and then the protocol 802.1x to actually give us enhanced network access control. Where we have an 802.1x server, something like Cisco Identity Services Engine, that provides port-based network access control. So it can use something like Radius, a Radius server, or like Cisco ICE, kind of that big enterprise grade. When a device connects to the network, it must provide valid credentials. This could be like a license, right? Or a certificate installed on that machine that's going to register with that server. And 802.1x is that protocol that's going to deliver that in conjunction with something like Radius, right? And then we're going to get authorized, authenticated, and then authorized onto that network. Then, of course, MAC filtering, but we know what that is, right? Because I just described it. Port security. Key management. So key management refers to the processes and tools used to generate, distribute, store, and revoke cryptographic keys throughout their life cycle to ensure data security. So this could be as simple as us doing like WAN key rotations. Maybe we have a password that we use on our OSPF neighbors, rotating that, right? We may need key management a different way. Maybe we have like hardware security management or an HSM in play that we have to manage, okay? An actual dedicated compute resource for our encryption keys. The importance, data protection, compliance, trust and integrity. Key management best practices, generate keys with sufficient length and complexity. Regular audits, and you can automate the process. We can have a centralized key management system, a KMS as well. Security rules. So security rules are the policies implemented in networks to control and manage access to resources, ensuring the protection of data and systems from unauthorized access and threats. So a simple one is an ACL, and this is at the network where we permit and deny and filter traffic based off IP address, protocol, or port information. That's layer 3, layer 4 filtering with ACLs. So a set of rules that permit or deny, okay? And then we have something that can even deep dive, kind of do that deep packet inspection like URL filtering or content filtering. So this could be like on our next generation firewall that's actually doing that deep packet inspection. Maybe it does TLS deep packet inspection too. Make sure you remember to always enable that because HTTPS sessions are end-to-end. But we can actually get way more granular than just based off a port, protocol, or destination IP. We can say, hey, you can go to Facebook, you can go to messenger.facebook.com, but not facebook.com. So maybe we allow you to message family and friends while you're at work, but you're not just going to endlessly scroll, okay? So URL filtering or content filtering. Then we have network zones. So we had, this is kind of like in a traditional sense too, when we had that easy perimeter. We had our trusted zone, that was our intranet. That was our enterprise, where we set up the services, we set up the servers, the hardware, and we control everything, right? So everything's secure because it's our trusted environment that we set up. And if there's an insider threat, okay, but it's still our trusted zone. Then we have the untrusted zone. And that's usually anything beyond the firewall. If you look at this from like a firewall network security perspective, sit at the firewall, that's your demarcation point. To the left, that's your untrusted zone, your connection to the ISP. To the right, that's your trusted zone, right? And they have different security levels. Trusted zone is your intranet, your enterprise, your own domain. The untrusted is something that we don't know. That's the internet, the public internet. Guest Wi-Fi networks, things like that, okay? Then we also have something called a DMZ. Another zone, right? That's somewhere in the middle where it has some trust because we set up the DMZ, but then we're going to let untrusted networks and users get access to our DMZ. Maybe that's where we put our web servers. Maybe we have an email server that sits there to serve our remote access users and our internal enterprise users. So it's called a screen subnet now. It used to be called a demilitarized or DMZ zone. This is either physical or a logical subnetwork, typically that sits in that firewall, right? That exposes external facing services to an untrusted network while protecting the trusted internal network, okay? So if someone needs to access a SharePoint portal from home or an email server, instead of getting straight access to our enterprise from home, they go to our DMZ, okay? So functionality. It acts as a buffer between the trusted internal network and the untrusted external network. So firewalls, typically you have two firewalls. You can have just one and then do some logical segmentation. But if you want full setup, right, a lot of hardware, two firewalls are typically used, one between the trusted network and the screen subnet, and another between the screen subnet and the untrusted network. All right, so quick little video. Let's go do our quiz, and we'll finish up Domain 4 of our Network Plus course. Let me pause, and I'll meet you there. All right, so here I'm at our learning management system, our academy. If you want access, click that link in the description below. You can get access to our full course here where we have quizzes, exams, and flashcards coming soon, and of course, bonus content. So we're going to go to our lessons here, and I'm going to go to Domain 4.3.1. Let's scroll down and take our domain quiz. I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to bring my face into view in case I want to use this for other social media content. And let's go ahead and do it. So question 1. Which security feature specifically allows administrators to permit or deny network access based on the unique hardware address of a device? Hardware address, that's layer 2. That's our 12 hexadecimal digit MAC address. There's the explanation if you want to read it, and pause the video. Question 2. Which of the following best describes a screen subnet, often called a DMZ? It's going to be C. A buffer zone between a trusted internal network and an untrusted external network. Pause the video if you'd like to read this explanation. Question 3. What is the primary role of 802.1x in a network security environment? It's going to be C as well. It's going to be to authenticate devices attempting to connect to the network. If you'd like to pause the video and read the explanation, go ahead. Question 4. In the context of network security, what is a key benefit of using access control lists? I'm going to go with A here. They filter network traffic based on specified rules such as IP address and protocol type. There's the explanation. Pause if you'd like to read. Question 5. Which of the following is the most effective reason for disabling unused ports on a network switch? Looks like I messed this up here. I hand jammed these. Let me pause the video. I'll come right back. Okay, we're back, but we could have answered it. But it was B, to prevent unauthorized physical access to the network. Let's look at our explanation there, and let's look at the results. All right, we have 100%. So I want to thank everyone for viewing, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and if you're interested in our live virtual training or getting access to our LMS, click the link in the description below. Don't forget to share, and I'll see you in the next video when we finish up Domain 5 of our Network Plus course.